it's Natalie from the Vintage Cross Stitch Niche, bringing you another video. I know it's been a while. I have been busy. Work, husband, I don't know, just couldn't make a video. I didn't have the time to sit down and do this, so I figured, why not today? This weekend, I decorated the entire house inside and out with Halloween. So I think that was just one of the funnest things I've done. And now I can sit down. I always start with what I'm working on or new finishes. Let me give you what I'm working on. I'm so addicted to these bags, to project bags. So every project I work on gets its own bag while I'm working on it. This is from Garan Toten Bags. They have an online store. And I've had this a long time. This is by Not Forgotten Farm, Azea Nye. Now, from what I understand, the chart is a little messed up because you see how this house is sort of taller than it is wide. Well, I can tell you without showing you the chart that it is wider than it is tall. So I adapted it. Now, the reason I also adapted it and squished it a little bit was I want this to be on a metal bowl. Let me go get you one. Excuse me, a metal cup. Let's see. Sorry, I'm going to be getting up on this video because I just am. So you see these metal cups? This one is quite interesting because it actually was some sort of funnel, I guess. And I'm thinking this was a funnel for canning. A canning funnel, that's what it looks like, but it is going to be perfect. I have a cup just like this in the same pattern. That's real heavy, that's real old and nice. I'm either going to do this one, and I keep measuring to make sure it'll fit, or the one like it. I also have one with red, just not right for this, and then green. And these green ones, you know, not right for this. These are more Christmas, see, red and green. And these are old. You just know by the weight, the look, they're old. So I really enjoy, and the one that I have for this just looks like this. I have it in the other room. It has pretty much that pattern. I didn't show you. So anyway, I sort of squished it a little bit, and this is over one. Now this doesn't look nearly as grungy as I want, so Not Forgotten Farm dips everything in tea. This will be dipped in coffee. I think coffee looks more that color. Tea for me is too pink. But this is going to hopefully fit on a cup. And it's going to be grunged up with the coffee so that it looks this color. It'll be this color and with the little specks of coffee. It's almost done. It's almost done. I just have to fill in the roof and finish the witch, and then we're good to go. Actually, my girl, I should be able to finish this today. These are just whatever colors I can find. Nothing. It actually uses a lot of colors, DMC. But I used from my stash. The other thing I'm working on, and you can tell I put away my beautiful silk sampler because now it's the holiday season. I really want to switch gears. First off, the bag. This is by Lucy Beam. Isn't it pretty? Lucy Beam bags. She sells them on her Facebook page. This is so retro, and it's got that inside. I am working on Plum Street Samplers, a Ghoultide Welcome. So I actually made an adaptation. I changed some of the colors and once again used what I have. Okay? And because it's sort of wide, I started working this sideways. And you can see how much is done, probably about a third. You see the urn? This is the called for fabric. It is, let's see, I had it in there, I'm pretty sure it is 36 count vintage sand dune. So our Lakeside Linens vintage sand dune, 33 count. Here, let's see if you can see how much. I don't feel like taking this off, but you get the idea. And let me tell you, there's no black in here. The birds and this are, even though they look black on this paper, they're not black. They're actually dark brown. I switched them to black. It's Weeks Dye Works mascara, which is sort of a variegated black. It doesn't look variegated, but when you actually work with it, it is. And I love this. I hope to finish this by the end of the month, by Halloween. It won't be framed by then, but it will hopefully be finished. And then I could start on some Thanksgiving, which I can't wait to show you what I'm going to start on. So, just to show you my fun needle minder, I made this from one of the Disney pins from the Haunted Mansion. Isn't that great? I just took off the pin part and glued a strong magnet to the back. So, I love Disney Haunted Mansion. Let's see, let's put this over here and put this back in our project bag. I mean, I suppose I could take that off the roller frame every time I do it, but I'm way too lazy for that. Okay, some new acquisitions and some stuff to show you. I'm going to talk a little bit, I have also a finish to show you. I'm going to talk a little bit about finishing in the truly vintage way. A lot of people do finishing on Hobby Lobby items, and I do as well. They're all reproduction vintage items. I like the real thing. I really do. And just to show you, this is a recent finish. This is an old bread tray. In fact, it says it's made in Pawtucket, Mellow Pine, Pawtucket, Rhode Island. It's labeled on the back. And isn't that pretty? So easy. So all you do is you stitch your item, and then you need to get some foam board. This one's like I also put some heavy, what do you call that stuff? Like interfacing, but thick interfacing behind it. And then on this real thick foam board, I actually laced it as tight as I could, and then glued this around, and then glued the whole thing down. Isn't that pretty? And then I always embellish. I just put some of that. But isn't that pretty? And this is the real deal. I don't know, 50s, 60s? That's probably when this was made. And this was clearly a bread, I think. Little tray. I found this on Mercari. Maybe it was $10 or $15. But look how pretty it is. And somebody put a lot of time and effort into making it. So that's just another finish that I'll show you on vintage. This one is not a holiday finish, but this is a really old box. In fact, it's dated 1909, and I had a scissor in it. I took the scissor out, and unfortunately I put it in my scissors, and I'm not sure which one it is, but it had a scissor and a little, I do have the sterling, it's like a strawberry thing, but it leaked, so I put it away if somebody knows how to redo it. And then this is just put on the box. Isn't that pretty? This is by Blackbird Designs. Let's see, 2019 I have on here, and I made the fabric. It's got like a pink dye, and that dye was with beads. So I made that fabric. Oh, I forgot the name of this pattern. I really do, but I do want to tell you about the fabric. This is by Ship's Manor. It's called Hare House. I liked it so much that I ordered an entire, did I order a yard or a half yard of it from Ship's Manor, a 40 count, and it's completely different color what I got. It's much darker, but it's nice too, so. What the heck is this? I forgot. Anyway, I gotta start writing these things down. Let me show you another vintage finish. A lot of people have seen this because I posted this on a few places. What's in here? Oh, just some of these. This is an old Hinzite. This is called Crow Sampler. And it's out of print. I think I bought it for $7, and I believe 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 10, $9.99, who knows, 7, 8, 9. And I sold it for the same amount to somebody who liked this. Out of print. I was lucky to find it on eBay. So this is an old cigar, pipe holder. And I tried to finish this. This pillow did not come out good. I probably have to redo it, but I put like a little pin cushion, and then I put some, you can't really see it, but there's some fabric inside on the bottom. And I just threw some old scissors in here. So it looks, you get the idea. So that's another old finish. I put this on my Halloween my Halloween little table here that you can't see. Let's see, should I show you new acquisitions, or should I show you some, oh, what the heck, let me show you some Halloween finishes that I've made over the years. This is by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle. On my own fabric. I dyed the fabric. Isn't that pretty? It's a velvet. This crushed, sort of over-dyed velvet, just so nice, is made by Dames of the Needle. This has to be restuffed. The stuffing I used wasn't very good, but I made this. This is by, who is this by? I forget already. I forget, doesn't matter. This is Kermit, and I actually sewed this. Just put some fabric on the back, put this around. It's about the max of my sewing skills. I sewed it. Okay. This one is by Ink Circles. Oop. I also sewed this one by Ink Circles, little eyeballs. I just put that fabric. This linen is by Stephanie. I don't know the name of it, but it's Linens by Stephanie. That's Ink Circles. This is by Lucy Beam. This is on E-Designs linen. Once again with the Dames of the Needle's beautiful velvet on the back. Pretty, right? Let me show you a few more of these. Oops. What's a video without me dropping something? This is Boo to You. This is by Sandra Sullivan. Homespun Elegance. What's cool about this is the way this is done, you see? Isn't that pretty? The fabric, I don't know. More of that Dames of the Needle. Beautiful velvet. As you can tell, there's a theme here. I love the velvet. But I'm just thinking what this linen is. Not sure. But it's a real pretty color. Here's another one. I forget what this is. Button-Eyed Cat. It's called Button-Eyed Cat, and I forget who does it. Maybe, is it Hinzite? Might be Hinzite. Isn't that cute? And if it's not, I apologize. This one's filled with shells, walnut shells. This is definitely by Hinzite. Also filled with walnut shells. I found this nice fabric. It's sort of neon, like the neon here. And then, I forget who makes this, but this is my fabric. This is dyed by Natalie. Isn't that cool? And again, more of that velvet. Love that velvet. I forgot who makes this. Maybe like the Little Stitcher or something like that. I really got to write this stuff down. It just gets overwhelming after a while. Oh, I'll show you the bowl that this is in, or this is the small version of it. This is by Hall. And as you can see, I think it's called Autumn Jewel. I have 2 of these bowls. A thrift store find, 2 of them. And they hold nice little finishes. So I have a big one over there with the small finishes. And my other finishes, the bigger ones, are in this bowl, which is a big old wooden bowl. Not a thrift store find. I think I bought that one at Antique Show. So those are some. Let me show you some others. Oh, this is by Not Forgotten Farm. Now this is not a vintage piece. She made this. So you buy the pattern, and you can buy this separately. See, it has her name on the back. Lori Brecklin. And this fabric is really cool. This is by Extrude Design. I think it's some sort of something Jack by Extrude Design. Is it Elixir? No, it's not Elixir. I'll show you Elixir, but something Jack. Isn't it pretty? Love that fabric. And finally, this is by the Primitive Hair. This is my own fabric. I dyed it with the beets. I don't know the name of this. I think it's called Devil Runs, actually. It's by Primitive Hair. Now, some people think this is out of print. Really, nothing by the Primitive Hair is out of print, okay? You can email her, and she may not have a hard copy, but at least she can sell you a PDF or a hard copy. Now, this is to the best of my knowledge. I have never heard of any of her designs being out of print. With that said, I bought this at the Cross Stitch Cupboard, the pattern. I stitched it and resold it. And I always resell them because people are like, ooh, I want that, I can't find that. And I sell it usually for the same price. Or actually, 90% of them less, some of them the same price if they're sort of hard to find, and I really don't feel like losing money. I'd give it all away, to be honest with you, but it's not practical. It really isn't. Looking around. New items. New items. Let me show you some new project bags. Yes, I have an addiction. I don't know if I showed you this last time. This is by Mary at the Cross Stitch Cupboard. This was the coolest bag I have ever seen. It's got a clothespin theme. This is more of a spring bag, I guess. Although you would never hang your clothes in Florida in the spring and summer, you'd hang them in the winter. And let's see what it's got inside. Oh, it's got the same fabric throughout. And it's got this truly antique clothespin bag that she tacked on the front. Isn't that cool? This one is by Deborah Harry. She said this was a small project bag, and it is. It's really small because it does not fit this size project, so I don't know, but I love it. Isn't that great? That's somebody's work. So she goes to Goodwill, the bins of the all kinds of stuff that nobody wants to buy, and the outlet center, and just buys tons of people's items. Obviously somebody stitched this, probably passed away, and the kids gave it away, or they didn't have kids and nobody wanted it. And I would hope that these people that stitched this, I'm sure they never imagined that their stuff would be repurposed. So I'm sure they stitched it. It would, and they'd be happy to know. This is the cutest fabric inside. It's just adorable. So I bought this one. This one I got from Kathy's Posies. She does such a beautiful job as well. Look at the fabric. Quite vintagey. And then she put this, I don't know, it's a fabric covered button with a little crochet thing. And then this is a little charm on there. And the inside fabric is always different, except for this. It's the same fabric. I love it. But she's got this. I love her bags. I love her bags. So those are some new bags. My friend Mary, different Mary, not the one who sews. Well, she also sews, but not the one who makes the project bags. She says that I'm a bag hoarder. Yes. So charts, I'm trying not to buy charts, but I did buy this recently. This is by Exemplars from the Heart. It's called The Announcement. Isn't that pretty? I love it. I can make this any color. God sent his son and they called him Jesus. What a great little ornament this is going to make. What did I buy this? eBay maybe? I don't know. I don't even know. Or maybe I got it on one of the stash unload. It was maybe under $10. I was happy. This I just stumbled upon. It was in a lot of stuff I bought and I didn't even know it was in there. I would like to make this for my stepdaughter's about to have a little boy. Somebody, multiple people contacted me about this, wanting to buy it. It's out of print. I have to kit this up because there's people that are like, ooh, I really want it, I really want it. Needful Things. This is by Not Forgotten Farms Skeleton Keys. Plan was to get to this, to stitch it. I think it's a great little project. And this I got on a stash unload for sure. That's something else. I think that's it in terms of new charts. I'll show you new acquisitions. I bought some of these drawers, and as you can see, they hold floss great. They're just old drawers. This is another one. See, just look at that, some old drawer. Look how much floss. So I have a little cabinet and I'm just trying to put my DMC by different color and store it that way, DMC and anchor. I have some more of these little guys, which I have various things on my table, which really work well for me. I found this little firkin. I have no idea how old this is. It smells old. It smells like a museum. You know that old wooden museum smell? This has the smell. So how old is it? I have no idea. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm looking for clues. They put a piece of tape on here. I got to think about a way of maybe gluing that, so getting rid of the tape, but I didn't care. It didn't bother me. I'm looking for clues of how old this thing is. Look, and I'm trying to see the staples. Do they look old? Do they not look old? Some look old and some don't. And it's got this little spout on it, which is unusual. But in terms of utility, this would have been way too small. Nobody would have used this for maple bucket. When they got the maple out of the tree. So I don't know. I don't know how old it is. It smells old. The wood looks old. Oh, I love that smell. They should can that. Bottle it. But it doesn't matter ultimately. And I might even take the handle off. Well, I don't know, but that's going to fit a finish real pretty. I saw this on, I think it was Offer Up. I think it was $10. I don't know. Maybe a little less, a little more. And I grabbed it. No haggling, no nothing. I said, this is going to be super cool. And it is. Now, talking about firkins, I happened the same week to buy another firkin. Oh, once again, dropping. It's because I have too much stuff sitting here. This thing, this is gigantic. It's old. The patina is amazing. And this I found on local local, the Facebook Marketplace. It was local, and I went to somebody's house and picked it up. Amazing. I look at the nails. The nails used are, as you can see, they're not modern nails. So this is old. Somebody added some wood inside. It's a different kind of wood to make this into a sewing basket. And there is a fabric on top that's really, I have to take off. It's falling apart. I'm just going to take it off, and I'm going to put it in a little container and put it inside this, and just with a note that this is the original fabric. This is, I don't know, some sort of maybe linen. I don't know. This thing is the bomb. And even this is intact. What a lucky find. There is one little bit of damage right there. Who cares? Just luck to find this thing. I couldn't believe it. Some lady that was about 2 miles from my house had it. Just to show you one more firkin. The only reason I knew what these were called is at the antique show, somebody sold this one to me. And she just had the word firkin on it, and I learned what a firkin was. This is another old one at the antique show. I have some felt in here. I use these to store things. And this one is very old as well. Again, I look at the staples used. These are really interesting staples. They're almost like copper. See? Or brass. It just, you look at them and you try to figure out how old it is by, honestly, the smell of the wood. How old does it smell? The patina. The quality. Because the quality was there when they made stuff years ago, as opposed to, well, that's not true. Some of the handmade, beautiful shaker boxes are great now. So, anyway, these are the firkins. I had another firkin that I found. and I sold it. I sold it on my page, and the reason I sold it, and did I sell it for a fortune? No, it was halfway. How big was it? It was a little bit smaller than the big one, but it was still pretty nice size, and I sold it for $80, which I went on Etsy, and they go for significantly more than that, the nice ones. So if I sell something on my site, on my page, the Vintage Cross Stitch Niche page, not site, page, group page, I really try to be fair. I sell things for less than, let's say, an eBay price. I am truly afraid to quote unquote give it away, meaning to sell it very cheaply. And the reason is I think people might buy it and resell it. So I would like somebody to have it that really wants it, but I want them to get a good deal. And so that's the way it works there. If it doesn't sell on the page, and sometimes they don't, I then list it on a stash unloading. And if it doesn't sell there, so be it. It's not meant to be sold. So anyway, very, very cool. I'm going to show you another cool item that I found at an antique mall. I got off early from work one day, and it's right down the street from my office. And I found this pumpkin colored dish. Let's see, I don't want to turn it over. It says Lane and Company, Van Nuys, California, USA. So it's California pottery. Probably, mid-century modern, 50s, 60s, maybe 70s. But the color was so perfect. I paid 20 bucks for this. I did not feel 20 bucks was a lot of money. I really didn't. I thought that 20 bucks was a good deal for this because I've never seen one like it. It's got like little lines, almost like a pumpkin. And I figured, what a great idea. So that's a new acquisition. I have a thrift store find. This basket. This is a really well-made, nice basket. And it's got this nice little, I don't know, container, and it's got a top. I'm sorry, fabric or whatever it is. It's painted. I liked it. I don't know where it's made. I don't know how old it is. For all I know, it's Walmart, but I don't think so, because if you see the top, how that's made, it's definitely nice quality, and it's sturdy. It's a sturdy basket. This was $3, so that was a good deal. I have stuff in the basket I'm going to show you. So that was a bargain find. I'm going to show you these because I recently bought some. Not all of these are recent, but just to show you some of these great little hoops. I will not use the hoops anymore that are modern, that have the little screw. That drives me insane. I use the old hoops, and I just buy these as I find them. I have sold a few on my page, again, for reasonable prices. The Duchess seems to be very popular. The Princess is another one that I really like. In fact, the hoop, where is it? Well, the hoop that I'm working on over there, that is a Princess hoop. And it's got like a little piece of metal here. This one is, I believe it's Princess, but it's hard to read. It's sort of rubbed off, but these are so nice. Just so well made. They feel good. They hold it tight. So these are all new. I bought a few of these. I sold them to somebody who makes very vintage, primitive looking finishes, because she uses some of these hoops for finishes. And then she sells them as finished products. This one, I have no idea. This is sort of, it has some sort of, is that felt? Yeah, it's some sort of felt. Inside, it's a wooden hoop, it's large, unbranded. This one's really nice. It's unbranded, but this is a high quality one with a little spring. It's got felt inside. Sometimes it drives me nuts just looking at these, just wondering like, who made it? This is another one. This one's made by Duchess. So I think some of these are probably made by companies that did have labels on them and it just gets rubbed off. I'm trying to figure out, you know, is this a Duchess hoop? Is this not? It's clearly not. This is a little one, a little wooden one I thought was real cute for a certain size ornament. I love my roller frames, but for smalls, roller frames don't work. And then this one was really a good deal, a good find, and a good deal. It wasn't very expensive. And it has, once again, no markings on it, but it's got this nice double thing. And it should hold tight. People put this like thread on them and fabric and stuff, and that would be to get it to just hold a little tighter. But sometimes I'd like to know who actually sells these. I bought this one because it was big. So I got a bunch of these. Sometimes I sell them. I'll decide that, hey, this isn't for me. Let me show you the one that I'm using currently. Again, because it's a small little project. Especially I'm doing this 1/1, so it's even smaller. And this hoop is made by Princess. Called Princess, and it has that thing up there, and it's definitely tight, really tight. And I'm leaving it on here because you're never gonna, you know, I loosen it a little bit so I don't pull the fabric, but I'm not worried about the crease in the fabric it's gonna leave. Speaking of buying and selling, there was an interesting discussion recently about, I'm not gonna say where this discussion was, but it was about price gouging. And I did ask, what does that mean? What is the number? And the number $60 came out, which I think is actually a high number in terms of, I guess, for a chart. And, you know, they didn't want price gouging. They didn't want anybody asking $300 or $400 for a chart. I have never in my life asked $300 or $400 for a chart. I have asked, I think I sold something with silks and linen for $180, but it had a tremendous amount of silk and linen. It was probably over $200, if not $300 worth of, I don't know, $225 worth of linen and silk. So it wasn't, that was it. But in terms of sale, I don't believe in those $300 ones either. However, this is a free market society, and people have a right to charge what people will pay. So if you start a bidding, let's say you list something on eBay and you started at $20 and people bid it up to $300, it's not your fault. This is what the market can bear. And sometimes these people lose money because, let's say, it's an out-of-print item that all of a sudden is reprinted. So it's not worth what you paid for it. On the other hand, things go up in value. It's like the stock market. So, you know, on one hand, I understand underselling may encourage people to buy something because it's a good deal, not because they really want to stitch it. It also, you know, so I'm not 100% sure if I agree with limiting the prices. You know, when you start with price limiting, you know, that's what they do in communist and socialist countries. What they do, they say you can't charge X more for rent, and then before you know it, things have gone downhill, and the owners can't afford to, because they can't pass on the prices to the renters. That's what happened in New York City with rent control. All of a sudden you had abandoned buildings. I mean, multi-million-dollar buildings abandoned. I guess they weren't worth that then, but I remember as a kid in the 70s, and it had to do with price control. Not that this is on that level, that is a whole other level, but I do see two sides to it. In a perfect world, it would be great if everybody just lent everything. Now, I will tell you, I lent a chart to somebody I did not know, and I never saw it again. An out-of-print chart, never saw it again. So, and I have lent charts out that I've gotten back in a few weeks. So it goes both ways. I don't have an answer for it. I do like the $60 rule. I think that is reasonable. $60 is a lot to spend on a chart, so I think, you know, I do like that. I think it's good to have those rules in place. On the other hand, you know, it's going to discourage people from sharing their $300 chart on there, and maybe somebody would really want it. They'll just go elsewhere and get their $300. I don't know. It's an ethical dilemma, and I'm sort of curious to see what other people think. I saw other comments, and some were, oh, kick the people off the page if they do that. Well, I don't know, kicking people off page for selling something at the going rate. I don't know if that's a nice thing to do. And that was one extreme, and the other extreme was, oh, people should be able to sell whatever they want for whatever price they want, and if somebody wants to buy it, oh well. That's the other extreme. I don't know. Anyway, that came to mind. Let's go back to, I hope some of you just fast forward through that, so my ranting. Let's go back to some more items. I do want to show you from the Wicked Stepmother some of her floss, which is really becoming some of my favorite floss. This is a certain color called Falling Leaves. My God, it's beautiful. I was looking for a chart with a pumpkin or something that was monochromatic that I could just use this for. So far I haven't found, no time to stitch now, but I bought two of them. I love them. I think they're absolutely beautiful. Then she had one called Autumn Sweater. Just a lovely color. Just a salmony, pink, I don't even know how to describe it. Just beautiful color. And then there was one called Love Letters, which is just more like a off-white. Also pretty. So this is pretty much becoming some of my favorite floss. It's hard on her page because she just lists them one at a time, and I'd rather just have her list a bunch so I can pick out a bunch and not keep paying shipping. She did that for me one time. She just saved a bunch, so that I wanted to show you. All right. I have this here as another new acquisition. This is a thrift store find. Yes, it is. Somebody made it. Somebody made this. Was it made for the yard? I don't know. But when I saw it, it had project all over it because this area is a big fat area where I guess this is the sack of toys is. Looks like there might have been a sticker there. That's okay. And this was $5. It was $4.99, excuse me, at a thrift store. I think I might have a project that will fit on there, but I'm not sure it will. This is Kesslin's Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. I got this at the cross stitch cupboard. And I picked out some fabric for it. It's can you see it there? It's, you know, some sort of linen. I think this is linen. I think it's linen. The more I look at it, I don't know. Yeah, it's linen. And it's got a lot of little sparklies in it. So it's that sparkly linen. And then I have some 3 colors here to stitch it on. Let me to use to stitch this. Just 3 random colors. A variegated red by Threadworks. Threadworks is absolutely beautiful stuff if you haven't seen it. And then this is just a DMC 3818. And this is Envy, which I think is a beautiful Christmas green. You know, I look at this and I say, can I make this fit? And how will this look on here? I think it would look really good. I'm not 100% sure about the white fabric, whether or not it would clash with his white beard. Not 100% sure that this is the right project for this, because this is, you know, this is a little bit not quite round. I'd have to get something that really fit in here perfectly, and I'm gonna have to get a test. But sometimes what I'll do is I'll figure out how round this is going to be, and I'll make a test piece of paper so I can put it on something and see how, if it's going to fit right. But this was a thought I had. No, this is not a cute little Christmas bag, is it? I just had a bag. This was a gift from somebody. Little bag. But I put that in here. Whoop. And lo and behold, this is a pair of Dovo scissors that I could not find, gold scissors. What the heck? These are really nice. These are the Dovo Silver Needle Limited Edition ones. Probably unavailable at this point, but I didn't know I had them in that bag. I couldn't find them. I thought I lost them. Wow. All right, so where are we up to here? So here is, after I'm done with my Halloween stitching, these are the two that I'd like to work on. One is Thanksgiving Friends by Needle Love Designs. Now, I have this kitted up because this came kitted up. Okay, this came kitted up. And this is the original. The original is not made on this nice, what would you call, thick, nice cardboard, well, cardstock paper. It's just not. The original is not available anymore, but the cross stitch cupboard does have this, and it is a sort of just a copied version, and pretty much exactly what's going on with Prairie Schoolers. So the old charts are beautiful cardstock. What you get when they're new are not cardstock, it's paper. So this is on paper. Still, she's the only person who can sell it right now. This particular kit came with all the floss, and this is cloth stern, just to show you what it looks like. And the holes are huge. Look at the holes. And that's okay. It's you use an entire 6 strands. So it's going to be really nice. And the other one is Glendon Place. Also, I bought it at the cross stitch cupboard. This is called Sir Thomas. I don't know what color I'm going to do him on. I'm actually thinking of making a piece of 40 count to do him on to match my other Thomas, because I have another Thomas the turkey. And what's beautiful is the fancy, oh, let me show you. The fancy fibers. Isn't that pretty? So you've got all these fancy fibers, all these beads. These are little packs that come with it. The fancy fibers, the beads. In addition, you need a whole bunch of DMC or Anchor, and I'm going to see if in my stash of DMC and Anchor I have it. There's a lot of colors in here. But look at the colors. Look how beautiful that's going to be. I'm very anxious to get this one started. I'm not 100% sure Thanksgiving Friends is going to get started. This one will be started. And this chart I got at the cross stitch cupboard, as well as the embellishments. That leads me to the final part of our video, which is, well, I wanted to show you some of these fall edition magazines. Oh, wow, there's a correction. I never saw that before. I have 2017, 2020, and 2015 of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher fall editions. I'm going to show them to you because these are sort of available. You can find them on the secondary market. Also, Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher does have some old editions available for sale on their website. And some stores have them as well. You can just contact people and see if they've got some left. What should we start? The oldest first? Okay, and this one is 2015. So I'm going to show you some of the fall. This is My Soul is Fed by Abby Rose Designs. Oh! This Merry Christmas, this is called Christmas Pin Keep, I believe, by Abby Rose Designs. Now I remembered, Abby Rose Designs. Okay. So this is My Soul is Fed by Abby Rose Designs. It's real pretty. I don't know if you'd call that fall, but it's just pretty. It's beautiful, actually. There's nothing not to like about it. But it is interesting. But I don't think it's a fall design. So pretty. The colors are. And this one is Jack's House by Ship's Manor. Isn't that pretty? Jack's House by Ship's Manor. Interestingly enough, it's not on their own fabric. It's on dill. And this one is by MTVD Designs, Primitive Spring. Why is there a spring one in here? I don't know. Primitive Spring in the fall edition. I don't know, it's pretty. But it is a spring. It's a little surprise one. And then this is definitely fall. This is by Maya Machias Sizlagi. I have the Snowflower Diaries. She has lovely designs. And this is a truly lovely design, the Snowflower Diaries. Okay, so that's real nice. This one is Old Mini Sampler by Primitive Acorns. That's cute. That's a quickie. You can change it up. This is Natural Linen aged with coffee staining. I highly suggest you don't use natural linen, the natural color linen, when you do coffee dyeing. I suggest you use like an antique white or a tan or something like that, because the natural linen does not look good with the coffee. I don't think that this is actually natural. I think it's just like an antique white that she used, just FYI, in my opinion, because I've done a lot of that dyeing. This is by Needle Bling Designs, Keep Your Hopes Afloat. Once again, I don't understand, but this is not quite a fall design, in my opinion. Voting is more summer. I think what I'm going to do is just show you the fall ones. Interesting they did that, but this is, again, this is already 6 years ago. It was in the beginning of the magazine. This is by the Primitive Hair. It's called Bootry. Now that is a Halloween design. I think that's fabulous with the boot and the tree growing out of the boot. And let's see if she used her own linen. It does look like her own linen. And she did it on Old Salem, which is her own linen. Beautiful. Okay. And then let's go through this and see. This seems to be, let's see. This is by the Nebby Needle. This is called Halloween Cat. Halloween Cat. But so I ran out of space on the card. There was some stuff on the card I had to delete. Anyway, we're pretty much done with this one. So this was 2015. Let's go to 2017. And again, I'm not showing you the punch needle. This is by Sub Rosa, Good Witch Sampler Pillow. That's really nice. That's very cute. What fabric did she do that on? She did that on Havana. Very pretty. Only a few colors, only 4 colors. This one is by Nikki's Creations Acorn Sampler. Quite nice. Quite nice. It's sort of a little spooky. Fall and spooky. Very, very pretty, and it's done on a Vichy linen. This is Jack by Teresa Miller. Isn't that nice? Okay. And just speeding along here, this is by Manny Didana, Autumn Harvest. Quite nice. I forgot these. This is what happens. You keep forgetting what you have. Very, very nice. And just keep going on, go through these. Punch needle. Oh, here is the Primitive Hair. This one is May the Witches Be Kind to You. May the Witches. And it's on her Old Salem once again. This is quite nice. May the Witches. Isn't that pretty? It's very, very nice. Only a few colors. I really like her stuff. This one's Thankful by the Nebby Needle. A thankful heart. Sort of a long, skinny design, which is nice. It's a different shape. I'm always curious to know what fabric that is. Burlap? Oh, burlap garland. So you can probably buy that at Hobby Lobby. One of those. No wonder. Thankful by Lucy Beams. I'm not sure. This might have been released after, but I do like this. This is great. Lucy Beam. Thankful. That's quite amazing. And see how much stuff is in here? What a bargain this is. This is $10, this magazine. Unbelievable. And this is by Barbara Anna, Sweeping the Garden. Isn't that cute? It's a mouse dressed as a witch with a broom sweeping the garden. That is so cute. Love it. Okay, one more. I know this is chock full. This is 2017. They have gotten a little bigger, I think. This weighs more. Also went up $1. It was $8.99. Now this one's $9.99. I don't know if it's gone up this year. I didn't even look. Autumn Garden by Sub Rosa. It's quite nice. Done on Picture This Plus Ren. The picture does not look like Ren, but you know how that goes with the picture. I like it on this purpley gray linen, actually. I do like that. This is Fall Sunflowers by Stitching with the Housewives. Everything they do is on black. I suppose you can do it on whatever you want. I like the sunflowers. It's really pretty. And this is Crows in the Pumpkin Patch by Teresa Miller. Isn't that pretty? That's very, very, very nice. Crows in the Pumpkin Patch. And this is Autumn Pennies by Teresa Vinay. I missed the kit for this. She had this all kitted up, and I missed it. I hesitated buying it. I went back the next day. It was gone. But I really like that. I think that is just darling. And this is by Teresa Vinay, the Shakespeare Peddler, otherwise known as Kitten Stitcher, otherwise known as, I don't know, the artist formerly known as Pink, not Pink, whatever, Purple Rain, Prince. This is by Barbara Anna, Trick or Treat. Very, very cute. Look at that cat. That's so funny. And she's got it finished in a hoop. I think that's a hoop, yeah. Finished it in a hoop. see what else we got. This is by Heart and Hand. This is Autumn Owl etching. I've seen a number of people do this. It's just quite nice. Quite pretty. I think this really looks good with deep colors like she has. This is 4 different colors, Classic Colorworks or DMC, done on Ren. This looks more like Ren. The other one doesn't. Just nice. I'd even go deeper, like a deeper color. I really like that a lot. I've seen a lot of people do it. This is Vulture Villa by Stephanie Webb. Isn't that great? Oh. And by the way, I forgot to show you a finish, which this just reminded me of. Hold on. Isn't that great? In fact, I forgot to show you 2 finishes. Now that I'm looking at that, it reminded me. So there will be a surprise at the end, 2 more finishes. This is Growing Pumpkins by Lucy Beam. I think this is fabulous as well. Everything about this, the color, the fabric, the design. This is done on Cappuccino by Weeks Dye Works in Sullivan's Threads. Sullivan USA Threads. Once again, they are not made in the USA. They should take that USA out of there. The company is a USA company. Their threads were made in the USA for years, and unfortunately they're made in China now. This is by Wild Violet Cross Stitch, Ryan Matt, Cauldron Thread Organizer Pillow. Sort of interesting. I can't tell what's going on the bottom. I just cannot tell. I thought that this pillow looked great. I just wished, I think it's made to be just a fire and a cauldron. It's very interesting, and I really do like this. And you know what I really like? I love that little spider web. It's great. It's an interesting design. I just couldn't tell what was going on there. And this is by Twin Peaks Primitives. I Put a Spell on You. She has very distinctful designs, very beautiful color. And I like that edging she put on there. I think that's it. Hold on, I'm going to be right back. I have 2 more finishes that I cannot believe I did not show you up front. They're fabulous finishes. This is Vlad's House. This one is by, is this Lucy Beam? Yes, Lucy Beam. I just picked some colors from my stash. The fabric is by Painter's Threads. It's just a beautiful fabric. And this, as you can see, I just laced it onto a piece of foam board. This foam board I got off of Amazon. It was inexpensive and I'm not crazy about it, so I'm not going to use it again. And then I put just a little edging. This piece is by Woodcrafters. This came already black. I just had to fix it up a little bit. It just sort of was a little beat up. And then this is Scared Silly by Birds of a Feather. This fabric is by E-Designs, and this is a candle. It's a candle box. This came in this color, and it was a little beat up, and I actually painted it, and I thought it came out real nice. And I laced it. I actually laced it and I put a backing on it because it's too thick sometimes if you put the backing. What's nice is when it really pulls it tight when you make it like an ornament with a backing. And I used a very thin piece of cardboard for the back, for the fabric, so that it wasn't too thick. And I thought this came out great. Isn't that nice? I can't believe I forgot to show you these. That's because they weren't in this room. They were in the deck. They were in other parts of the house. No wonder. Anyway, have a great week. My bathing suit. Have a great week. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment below. Please join us on the Vintage Cross Stitch Niche on Facebook. Have a good one.